Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a complete box fight guide for you guys. I'm going to have a complete explanation, breakdown of the changes that were recently made, as well as practice and visual examples for you. So the whole package, the usual on this channel. But I'll show you all of that. And basically, the reason I wanted to make this video is because box fighting has become such a prominent element of the game. If you get shot, you need to know how to box immediately. And so that is my goal with this video, is to give you guys the complete tools necessary to master this very simple but crucial concept of the game. So with that said, let's get right into it. So first off, I'm going to read word for word the patch notes that were released this Tuesday. And they go over the exact changes that were made. After a structure is destroyed, there will be a timer of 0.15 seconds before another piece can be placed in the same location. If two players are attempting to place a piece at the same time and location where a piece was just destroyed, a random roll will determine whose piece is placed instead of ping playing such a large role. The mentality before this update was, if I have a box, I'm secure. As long as my ping is pretty good, I should be fine. Not anymore. To the average player, anybody can get in your box, and so you should never feel safe in a box anymore. You need to know the tools to get out and survive out of the box. And that is exactly what I want to go over in this video. So the first staple tip that I would give to counter this solution is, first off, if you don't know, each of the materials have a different base health. The steel is going to be the strongest wall, and so it's going to need to take the most damage to destroy. So in my opinion, and I've actually been experimenting with this for a while now, and a lot of pros are actually switching to this, use brick and steel as much as you can, especially early game if you have the ability to do so. The reason is because there's just nothing but benefits from doing this. If you're using it in early game, people are not going to have the ammunition to shoot you out. And so by using steel and brick, you're just going to have that much more advantage over someone using wood. So yeah, moral of the story, use brick and steel early game and really throughout the entire game if you can. I promise you, people will not shoot you out as much because it sends a subliminal message to their mind like, oh, this is a stronger material, I'm not even going to bother shooting them out. And so it's, again, nothing but benefits. So anyway, you're sitting here and you're holding your wall, right? You're getting shot at. And the issue is that if you stand completely still like you used to, you're no longer secure in doing so because, again, when this wall gets destroyed, there's a 0.15 second delay, and that means that guns that shoot fast, they can get through and they can actually deal damage to you, right? And so chain guns, worst enemy when it comes to holding a 1x1. Even ARs, SMGs, everything can basically hit you through turbo building walls. And so what you have to do is, one tip I would say is to move around if you're kind of low on mats. But if you do have a good mat count, I would get in the habit of always placing a pyramid down. The reason is because, once again, just like switching materials early game, there's nothing but benefits in doing this. Usually what good players will do, like let's say he just took that wall from you, he'll actually edit this, and if you don't have a piece there, he will put a piece there, and then you're stuck. He has complete control of the situation when it comes to editing. Like, he can edit you this way, he can put a trap here. There's just a lot of cons to not owning this piece in your own 1x1, and so as a staple move, always put something there on the bottom. I would also recommend, if you want, you can do a ramp, but I wouldn't recommend this over the pyramid because in this situation you don't have as much leeway in terms of what you can edit. So you could cover this lane for a few seconds, then if he switches this way, you have to worry about hitting that edit, and if you miss it, it's bad news for you, and so I think an easier piece to maneuver around is the pyramid. If you want more protection, you can go ahead and edit it this way, right? So again, the pyramid piece is much more versatile, and I would recommend that over the ramp piece. Another way I like to counter this aspect of the game in terms of, when this block destroys, you got 0.15 second delay, what I would do is get in the habit of building an actual 2x1, and so this way, if this box gets compromised, then you can simply move to this one, and you can go from there. Another tip that I like to do is kind of set it up in this fashion to where you're holding this, and then they're pushing up on you, and then you do bam, just like that. You time it to where they're so focused on this wall, they think you're behind it, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just edit this wall. And that's another reason, once again, nothing but benefits. If you're using wood, they're going to be able to see your character through this, but if you're using steel, and the steel's been there long enough, I'm sure you can't really see through steel. And so you're holding this, they think you're there, bam. It's a complete surprise and a good attack on your opponent. So issue number 2, as we discussed, is that if your opponent gets over to your 1x1 and you guys are battling out for this wall, it's a 50-50% chance. There's no longer a skill element to it. The counter to avoiding the roll is as simple as just editing out and looking for edit plays. Now the key is that there's a lot of ways to actually go about doing this, and so that's what I want to get into now. So basically, the first thing that I like to say And what I always keep in mind personally is I like to seek out the advantage. I always keep in mind who has the advantage in the fight. Now I'm not talking specifically health advantage. You know, there's different types of factors such as positioning. So health is not the only factor that you need to be paying attention to, but it is, I would say, probably 75%. So as an example, you know, if I'm walking out here, bam, I get sniped. Immediately I have to build, and so I am at the severe disadvantage in terms of my health. And so let's say that, you know, my opponent was like over there when he sniped me. He's pushing up, you know, I don't really have time to heal. And so I have to seek ways to basically give myself the advantage. And this is a difficult thing to achieve, but if you can master this, this is what separates the good players from the bad. So the first thing I would do, if he starts walking up on my box, immediately put a shot on him. If he's like one block away, always go for the early edit that he's not really expecting. Maybe he's going to think that you're healing, and maybe you did. Maybe you got time to put one mini on, but don't be so focused on putting two minis on, because if you can, think about it this way, you can give yourself 25 HP, and that possibly might be good enough to close the health gap, but the better option than putting on a second mini and giving yourself another 25 HP is to edit a window, deal 120 damage to him. And so you just took his health from, you know, 200 to minus 120, so now he's at 80. Meanwhile, you have 100 HP, and so you already have the health advantage. And you did that not by putting on shields, but by dealing damage. And so you have to think about it that way. You have to think about how you can even out the playing field without, you know, putting on minis, basically putting yourself at a disadvantage of where you're healing instead of being able to shoot your opponent. So again, first move, he's walking up, bam, edit the window, and then re-edit it, right? If you do a good number to him, and you know that you have the health advantage, edit out and go for the kill, if you feel confident doing so. Otherwise, go ahead and pop minis, do whatever you need to do. Now, the other option that's going to happen is that he's going to be really, really close, right? And he's going to be immediately going for this. What I would do in this situation is immediately edit out the side, bam, do a shot on him like that. If you can do this instinctively very fast, then you will deal a lot of damage to him, and he won't really expect it. Again, look at the numbers that you're doing to him and look at your current health. If your health is more, then the option is yours, right? You can go for the kill, right? You put that wall there. If you edit again and shoot, or maybe you jump over, shoot, do something to capitalize on the fact that you now have the advantage. But that's a decision that you have to make as a player yourself. That's kind of the play, is that you just have to keep rinsing and repeating. You keep doing the same thing, but in different fashions, different ways. Another edit that's popular, which is the reason I don't like it, is because it's so popular, is that they'll place a ramp and they'll double edit like this. The reason I hate this is because it's just so obvious. This pyramid piece does not do a good job at hiding where you're going to come out. Like, it's pretty obvious he's going to come out of this square, and so your opponent can literally just sit here, and no matter which direction you go, you're definitely going to get shot. There's just no way you're not going to take damage in this one, and so I don't like to do that. As an offensive player, pushing a 1x1, I would definitely apply pressure and play the roll game, the 50-50 chance. Obviously, you just want to get in his box, and so you know, play the roll game, try to get it. But just be cautious that players are going to be moving to making windows a lot more often now. So as an offensive player, you need to be jumping around and always moving while you're doing this. Because if you're not, you're standing still. Obviously, you just build a window and bop, you're probably going to get killed. So be cautious of that. Now, the true thing that you need to be watching out for as an offensive player is making sure that you're looking out for where he's going to edit out. So we've already discussed a little bit about this, but let's say that his pyramid is pointed in this direction. Obviously, you can tell by his ramp direction. So let's say that he built a ramp like this. Then this means that he's probably going to come out of this lane. If the ramp was like so, then he's going to be coming out of this lane. And so you can kind of look through the walls and predict where he's going to be. If he does this move, his next move as a player in the box is going to be to ramp like this, obviously, right? But as an offensive player, the move is to jump back and put a pyramid like so, jump to the side, and boom. So you're basically blocking his path with a pyramid. The other thing that you can do is jump up and shotgun and put a wall down, edit through the wall, or if he tries to box, jump up here, edit through like that. And so the other thing that he can do is he could try to, again, he's going to try to obviously do that ramp. And so what I would do is jump and put a wall down before he even gets the chance to, then jump to the side, shotgun in like this, and put a flat down so he catches you. And, you know, he's probably going to re-edit. You can just apply pressure, grab the wall, shotgun again. As long as you're always dominating pieces and having the chance to edit play, that's what you're going for as an offensive player. Alright, now that you're all hyped up after those clips, I want to show you guys how you can do this stuff yourself and exactly what I personally did to learn to play like a player that I am now. One of the best ways that I learned to edit quickly and make faster edit plays in general was I did this little maneuver where I would make a ramp, and I use this all the time in actual fights against players that aren't that good, is I'll put a ramp, put a flat down and make it look like I'm going up, and then I'll edit it like this, and as I'm falling I'll shoot him, build a wall again, shoot again, just like so. And you know, he keeps trying to like run around and, you know, evade me, but it doesn't really work because my edits are too fast. I would always look for edits such as this, or maybe jump to the side, put a shot on him, edit like, and you know, build a wall like that. One of my favorites to do is to do that exact maneuver, and then your next response is going to be to edit down, put a shot on him like so. Do edit plays like that, and even a really simple one that's like my really favorite, and it's so simple, is that when you have a bot that's kind of chasing you around and you place a wall and you see that he kind of goes around your wall like this, literally, let's say I put the wall there, now my opponent's going this way, I'm going to put another wall down, he's going to go around again, I'm going to edit just like this, and I'm going to go around and shotgun him, because one, my wall gets destroyed, and two, he is now, you know, all open to where I can shoot him. And then again, you shoot and you build. Now if you're having problems with hitting those edits, just go into creative, and I've showed this millions of times. I mean, this is such a simple build exercise, or edit exercise. Just learn to do this flick, right? So with that said, guys, hope that was a very informative video for you in terms of box fighting and how you need to be doing it in Season 10, especially this update since Tuesday. Also, I will love you forever if you leave a like on the video. It helps out the channel tremendously. You have no idea, so I do greatly appreciate any likes that I get. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.